You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, it's Monday the 3rd of March 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. I've had an interesting day today, so I wasn't as exhausted as I was yesterday. Yesterday was a really sort of tough day, although I managed to stay awake quite late and then I managed to sleep quite well. And I woke up, well, it wasn't ridiculously early. I woke up at about 7 o'clock, which, you know, I'd had a good night's sleep and it wasn't ludicrous. And that's good because I had my new washing machine fitted today. And yes, it arrived at about 11:30. It's up and running. I've just washed my uniform shirts, which was the main thing I needed to do because I was going to run out of shirts after the next... Oh, no. Well, what happened was I washed 6, but then I used 4 for the last little batch of work, which is fine because I only really need 2 for the Houston trip that I'm doing on Wednesday, and then I've got 16 days off anyway. But unfortunately, when I was ironing one of them, the iron left a little bit of a mark, and I probably would have got away with it because it might have been under my tie, but I thought, you know what, no, knowing the washing machine was going to arrive. Anyway, I've done that load of washing, and that shirt is now clean, and it's good. So yes, I'm basically functioning again. What else to say today? So if you would like to know a little bit more about... There's a fun video that Campbell has done on her YouTube channel, which is at Bow Street Society. So it's an interview with a Twitch streamer called MattRPD, I think. And it talks about her inspirations for one of the characters in her latest book, The Case of the Fatal Flaw. And there's some interesting sort of little trivia questions about 19th century terms, which is really interesting. But the most impressive bit of the video is the amazing theme tune that she has for it, which somebody might have done for her. I think I mentioned a little while back that she'd asked me to write her a piece of music. Well, I did do that. I think there was a couple of episodes where I said I've done no writing today because I've been working on the song, and it is a song. I can't just write a piece of music, I have to write a song. And I also promised her that I wouldn't play it to anybody until it had premiered on her, with whatever she wanted to do with it. So it appeared in this video that I've just mentioned, so I can now play it to everybody else. So the next time I have a day where I'm working so hard I haven't really got time to podcast properly, which is Wednesday, I will play you that song. So yes, stick some cotton wool in your ear for Wednesday's podcast. And what else have I done today? Well, the main thing I've done is I've written I've written 2,000 more words of the final chapter of Empress of the Trees. And it's a couple of it's all kind of tying things off now. It's all finishing things up. And it's 2 scenes. So one is Mackenzie inviting Marianne to replace Ronnie as one of Idrisil's ambassadors. The only difference this time is instead of interfacing with the trees by visiting the trees, this time the tree spirits are actually going to, just once or twice a year, inhabit the bodies of the humans, so Marianne and Mackenzie, and actually physically be in the world and talk to humans, person to person, effectively. It was going to be Ronnie and Mackenzie, the original 2 ambassadors, but Ronnie's pregnant now, and Idrisil, one of the tree spirits, feels quite strongly that she'll want to be there for her daughter, and therefore hasn't asked her. They originally asked Claire, the girl from the Arboretum, who was forced to act as an interface, but she didn't want to do it, given what had happened before, and that's understandable. And so the fallback position was Marianne, who, Sign-Wolf, one of the tree spirits, was very, very impressed with their empathy and their caring, and it is literally his encounter with her, with them, sorry, I've just gendered them, it's his encounter, Sign-Wolf's encounter with Marianne, that is the reason he decided to allow any humans to survive what would have been an extinction. So it's a lovely little moment, and also it's just a sweet moment between Marianne and Mackenzie, because they hadn't seen each other since, oh God, less than halfway through the book, I think. And there was a burgeoning friendship developing there, and then Mackenzie got cold feet and just ran away. And he got cold feet for two reasons. One, he was finding being an ambassador when he hadn't had the it's a long story. He wasn't ready to be an ambassador, even though that's what he was created for, thanks to something Carruthers didn't do. I'm not going to go into it now. It all explains itself when you read the book. But it's just a nice little scene. And then the next scene I wrote is where everybody comes back to Ursula's home in Sherwood, and Adrian has to tell Ronnie that he found her parents, their bodies, in Ursula's house. And again, it's not a nice moment, because obviously she already knew they were dead. They died during the extinction, but she wasn't expecting to run into the circumstances of their death. Nobody was. And you know what? When I wrote the scene where I couldn't work out where to put Ronnie's parents for their final scene, so it was a bit of a whim. I will stick them in Ursula's house, and I hadn't then considered that they would potentially be found by Ronnie, Adrian, Ursula and Carruthers later on. So that actually made that scene a lot more powerful. And this, I don't do sort of the soppy relationshipy stuff, because I think my characters are so independent normally. But when Adrian basically says, "Look, I've put them in the shed. I don't think you should go and look at them. I think you should try and remember them as they were, because how they look now isn't very nice." And of course, being Ronnie, she totally ignores that advice. But she's also said, "Can we bury them?" Now, normally when they're when the recovery expeditions are clearing bodies out of people's houses who might need to come in and collect some provisions, they don't bury them, they just move them out the way. But I think because it's Ronnie, he realised she would want to bury them, and has already started digging a hole, basically. So and she says, "Okay, right, I know what you've said, but I want to go and see them now." And he doesn't try and stop her, he says he'll be there with her. And it's a sweet moment, because they've been together, they've known each other for a while, they've been living together in a relationship sense for the 5 months that they've both been awake since the extinction. But it's the first time she says "I love you" to him, which is really sweet. Aww. So yes, I've written some lovey-dovey nonsense crap. So what scenes have I got to write? I'm almost there. I don't think I'll finish it tomorrow, but it's not going to be long now. I've basically now I've got to write one more scene between Marianne and Mackenzie. I just want to round their storyline off. And I need to write the scene where Ursula tells Ronnie that she wants to die. And that moment. And then there's a final scene where Ronnie just goes off into the forest with the notebooks and pencils, and just does a bit of drawing, which obviously is actually now much more... It was going to be a nice little powerful moment anyway, but it's even more powerful now, because one of the things her parents left for her in Ursula's house was a big wodge of her old notebooks with her old artwork and drawings in them. So it was going to be a nice moment anyway, but because she's just flicked through the artwork she did when she was younger, she's now going to go out by herself and do it again. So the final scene will just be Ronnie by herself drawing something in nature, which Adrian is going to be like, "Oh, I don't want you to do that." And she takes a radio with her, so if she has any problems, she can just get hold of him. But yeah, the last scene will just be her doing a drawing. And I'm possibly thinking she might draw something and then start drawing Ursula, and that might be the last moment. I don't know, but I'm nearly there. So effectively it's 3, maybe 4 little scenes to write. It is going to be a long chapter again, because it's currently 5,000 words. It's not going to get split up any further. However long this chapter is, it's the last chapter. I will do some writing tomorrow. I don't think I'll get it finished tomorrow. I will do some writing on... so the day I'm flying, the 5th, I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I won't get to my hotel until 9 p.m. UK time, so I'll be knackered. I won't be writing that day. Maybe I'll write something in Houston. If not, when I get back from Houston, I'm going away for a couple of days, so it might not be till early next week that I get it finished, but I am nearly there. Anyway, I've rambled on a little bit. That's a bit of a long one. Apologies. I will talk to you at some point tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.